I am Rail Mason, the head Muay Thai coach of Chop and Chops MMA, as well as the athletic conditioning coach. It's Tuesday, December 5th. I just finished working at Chops, and I'm heading to the Bedford Nostrand G Line station. So I get onto the platform, and everything's looking nice. I can't complain, nothing out of the ordinary. And then all of a sudden, from the distance, I hear, just shouting. It's really incoherent. And then all I see is someone like cock their fist back, and then they go, "Where's my money?" And just punches this kid. And then the guy continues to walk down the platform. And then there's this other guy, just sitting down on the bench and minding his own business. And then he goes, "Where's my money?" Punches that guy in the face. So you have to understand, there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now. I'm like, okay, here's a guy who's just attacking, it seems like he's attacking anybody at random. And I'm calculating in my head, there's two people between me and him. So I'm like, that means eventually he's gonna be coming for me. In my head, I'm smiling. I'm just like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. Like, I've been wanting a situation like this since I first started martial arts. Primarily because, like, if you know my background, like, I've always been in confrontations where I was like the person who was either assaulted or victimized or whatever, however you want to call it. So I've always played numerous and countless scenarios in my head on how I can go about actually stepping up and stopping a situation. So as this guy is approaching in my direction, I'm thinking about all these different scenarios. Where can I stand? Am I gonna like charge him this way? Do I come around the back? Do I face him one-on-one? And I'm just creating all of these different scenarios for the moment, and I'm thinking, what's the best way to approach? But then, out of nowhere, this lady just appears from behind the column. I'm guessing she came down from the staircase and she didn't really know what was going on. And then he just like fixates on her. And then he like cocks his fist back. And then he like looks at her and he's like, "Where's my money?" Before I can even think of anything, like I just found myself moving. So I was no longer thinking about what's the best way to approach. I'm just already like in motion. But he throws this full powered hook at her and she just like ducks down screaming, "Ah!" And then before he could even like take the next punch, there I am. I just like move in with the shoulder tackle and I tackle right into him. Unfortunately, I was wearing a puffer jacket or a puffer coat with a nice puffy hood. So when I shoulder tackle him, like he gets his footing by grabbing my hood and he's pulling it in front of my face. And I can't see anything. So I'm completely blind. And then while he's doing all the things, I put my leg behind his leg and I just sweep and I push him down. And I go, okay, let me put him into side control because I'm already there. So I go on with the knee on belly and then like I flatten my chest to his and then put my arm over and under and I just do the gable grip and I just collapse on him. And I'm holding him there. And then like, he's like all twitching and like, get off me, like whatever. And then I'm just laying there and then I'm looking at the light coming down from the tunnel and I'm like, oh, there's a train coming. And his head and my head are literally centimeters from where the train wall is coming. And what's perfect is that like the the train door is like right in front of us. And it's like, it just opens up. And everyone's just sitting there like, what's going on? And there I am and like holding one side and like semi-side control. And then they're just like, what the hell? And I see all these phones just whip out and they're looking, like recording. And then there's this one particular lady who's just like, oh, you've inconvenienced my ride. I'm like, well, sorry. And then finally the train door closes and the train starts to pull off. And then the conductor is like there and he's looking at me and he makes eye contact. He's like, the cops are on the way. And then he just keeps going. I'm like, oh, great. So how long is this going to be? So anyways, as time is going by, this guy is now spouting out a whole bunch of nonsense. Oh, I'm FBI, I'm CIA, I'm with the cops, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, so, you're a public servant who's just like beating on the public for no apparent reason. That makes sense. He's like, I have my reasons, let me go. I was like, it's no way in hell I'm letting go. You swung on this innocent like lady out of nowhere. I'm keeping you right here until the cops arrive and let them sort it out. But each and every single time he tried to find some new thing to say, some new thing to release, and I absolutely refused. And then he started to wriggled so much to the point where his pants started to come off. And I'm just like, I don't need to see this. So finally the cops show up. They immediately put him in cuffs. And what's interesting is just I know I had so many options in the sense of what I can do. You know, could have just broken the guy's legs, his face. Like I could have disabled him in so many ways. We could have turned it into a nice little fist fight, or it wouldn't really have been much of a fist fight. It would have been more domination at that point. But I didn't want to have to go that far because ultimately I'm looking like, look, I just want to go home. But for me personally, I just thought it was a nice full circle experience because I grew up as this kid who was always like jumped and attacked between the ages of 5 through 16. And usually a situation like that would always make me like, very nervous and probably want to run away to someone who was just completely fearless and I was able to just move in and handle the situation. And it was nice. It was nice to be able to do that. So on the way home, I was just like pretty much beaming and just proud of myself for being able to help. And that's the story.